Evolisten is our proprietary tool. Everyone always asks, where does the word come from? The evolution of listening, isn't that pretty? The whole system was built by researchers, so my entire history is purely as a market research. The rest of the founders, purely market research. So everything you will see in the system should be quite familiar to you. What we've talked about this morning, sampling, weighting, scales, norms, all that stuff is part of the system because that's the only way we know to talk about data. There are, as I said, thousands of variables, but to make things easy, let's just categorize them into a few areas. We'll start off with, let me just skip over, tracking variables. These are the variables that you see essentially on every single survey that you do. They all start off with the same questions. Do you intend to purchase? Would you recommend? Is this product new or different? Have you tried? Are you aware? All these very basic questions that you watch weekly, monthly, quarterly, just to see if there's any motion at all. And if it's your traditional tracking survey, the line does this, nothing. And we move on. But those are the variables we look to decide, is my brand doing as well as it should? Did I have a weak spot? Should I check if there's any particular issues with my brand? You set up your success criteria, you monitor issues based on these overall tracking variables. Then there are action variables. These are variables where you can take a specific action as a result of knowing that number. So let's say you're within colors. You're still your iPod deciding what colors. Once you've got your scores for red, blue, green, yellow, orange, you know which specific number, which specific color got the most positive score, and you can take a specific action. Brown got the highest score, let's go with brown. Blue got the lowest score, we need to resolve that issue. You can do something as a result of knowing the score to that particular variable. Then we have a whole series of content variables. And this is where I'll chat a little bit about word clouds. Just in case folks aren't familiar with word clouds, essentially what they do is go through a whole collection of verbatims, messages, comments, and look for the most common words. So the big words, company, business, invest, allow, those are the words that were mentioned more often. And the tiny words, economy, corporation, bus, union, those are words that were mentioned much less often. So that's the basic premise of a word cloud. There are a lot of folks who aren't too keen on word clouds, but I'll share with you a few reasons on why I like them and how you can properly use them. So the way we've set up our word clouds, it is on a by variable basis. So if you select a variable about retailers, so in this case, we've got our data set, it's a Walmart data set, and we would like to know which specific retailers are mentioned in combination with Walmart data. So we've got, right off the bat here, Walmart is the biggest word. So this is our first indicator. I've got the right data set. So if you are doing research on Walmart and the biggest word is Target, you may have the wrong data set. So that's the first thing that I like to do with this data. Here's one of the interesting things you can do. So in our data set, let's say we've got some Apple data here, and we want to know which other brands are my consumers, the people talking about, which other brands are those folks mentioning? So we can see this whole list of things. They're mentioning iPhone, Google, Kindle, iPad. These are the brands that are getting mentioned a lot together. But let me point out a few things here. There's Huggies up here. There's Fisher-Price. There's Gerber. So not only are we getting a list of other brands that are mentioned in association with our brand, we're getting some psychographics here. We're seeing kids popping up. diapers, kids' toys. So not only is this a bunch of people who like the tech toys, these are a bunch of people who are also talking about their kids and the brands that their kids are using. Now, of course, it's not enough to know which brands people are mentioning in combination. It's more important to know that they like or dislike those brands. So this is a particular word cloud where we've teased out comments that are negative and done the same word cloud. Which brands are associated with my target brand in a negative way? Well, Google will always pop up. It's just one of those brands. People always love it, always hate it. It's like Bieber. Bieber shows up in every word cloud of famous people. So what we see here is if we wanted to do some co-branding, some co-sponsorship, these are brands that we might not want to associate with our brand. But we could do the same cloud for positive verbatims. Now we have a list of brands that our chattering people want to talk about, like talking about. So if I'm working with the Google brand, or iPod, Apple, Kindle, one of those brands, if I want to do some co-branding, some co-sponsorship, I might want to talk to Air Jordan, Dove, Spree, Mercury, Old Navy. These are the brands that the people chatting about my brand want to talk about. So instead of trying to remember and think of who should we co-brand with, there's your list. Start here. Think about these brands, think about brands like these ones. Who's in this word cloud? Justin Bieber is in every single celebrity word cloud. All right, so similar to co-branding, if you are capable, able to get Obama to endorse your product for this particular set of data, try to get him, because that's the person that your consumers are talking about. If you can't get Obama, then get Justin Bieber. If you can't get Justin, then go with Adam Sandler. But look at this as a list of people and characters that matter to people talking about your brand. So if you don't see a celebrity, a person here that works for you, at least you have an idea of the kinds of celebrities, the kinds of people who are of interest to people talking about your brand. Don't make your life difficult. Start with a list. You don't have to imagine all of this stuff when people are telling it to you. Slang. I love slang. There are many, many kinds of slang. There's the regular LOLs. Everybody does that. Lots of love. There's the gonna, wanna, coulda, shoulda, gottas. Everyone does that. I personally won't ever type that out. I've just gone to school for far too many years to actually write that out. But for lots and lots of people, this is just how they use language. This is regular, everyday language. Then there are other kinds of language that go one step further. There's the before. Because, that's a little bit professional. Love with a U. Dis, that is coming from a bit of subculture. K as in, okay. Snap as in, I can't do that, I'm not that cool. You see all the different kinds of slang. And what this tells you, it comes back to psychographics again. Who are the people talking about your brand? Now, it's not like you're going to go out there and rewrite all of your marketing materials to include all of these relevant pieces of language. But what it is going to do is tell you whether to include those big, long $10 words or to stick with the more common, regular language. If you should go professional or kind of casual and fun. This can point you to the kinds of people, the kinds of language that is getting used in relation to your brand. Okay. Is everyone okay with swearing? I'm going to show it. So the point about swearing, if you have issues with any of these words, you should not be in the social media research space. Social media is full of swearing, rude, crude, mean, nasty, horribly embarrassing, horribly mean words all over the place. That's just how the internet is. But we can still, just like on the last slide, we can learn a lot about people based on how they talk. So the biggest words are the correctly spelled swear words. We're used to seeing that. But we have a few other things. So there's B with a Y, S with a Y. There are a few reasons for doing this. Some folks do it because if I put this Y in here, they won't know that I'm swearing and I won't get caught in their spam filters. Oh, then why are they on my screen? You'll see a few words that are kind of pushing it in terms of acceptability. So these are people who are really brave. They don't care who sees what they write. They're going to write whatever they want. They will be as rude and as crude as they want because their opinion matters and yours is dumb and you don't matter. So it gives you a sense of who these people are, who is talking about your specific brand. And the last thing that I like to use with word clouds. What often happens, particularly when you're working, I keep saying thousands of variables. It literally is thousands, although we're going to make things easy on you this afternoon and keep it pretty short. You have no clue where to start. You can't literally go through 5,000 variables one by one just to find something of interest. But what you can do is look at an overall word cloud and let it point you. So this particular word cloud is done on a variable called retailer characteristics. Very generic. It includes things like the employees, the parking lot, the shopping carts, the washrooms, the wait times, the lines, anything retailer related. We've just bundled it all up together and done a word cloud in that specific area. So where should we start looking? How about with the topics that our consumers are talking about the most? They're talking about the checkout line. They're talking about the parking lot, the employees. These are the topics that these consumers want to talk about. If you want to start somewhere, start there. You can go directly to the checkout line variable, to the employee variable, to the parking variable. Once you know, that's where you want to go.